We're recording. So this is one of those stormy days. So when I start this class, we may get kicked off. And if that case happens, I'll just log back on. And so we'll see how it goes. So we are going to start right off doing one of the most important things you can do to help yourself ambulate and be stronger in your day-to-day moves. And I am using very flat or barefoot type shoes. So when I'm in class, I'm going to increasingly for this 1 hour, whether it's our loading day or not, I'm going to use a minimal shoe. Now, some of you are saying, oh, I couldn't at all think about doing that. You see what I'm doing right now? I'm doing just an ambulation, backward walking, forward walking, a couple of times. So for those of you coming on right now, just understand that when you get up and walk forward, if you do nothing else, take steps backward as well. Then take steps side to side. That motion in your hips, especially when you have established what is neutral spine. See how I'm stepping? I'm doing toe heel, toe heel. It's very different if I go heel, toe, heel, toe. Do you see how that scrambles your brain? Now walk back, walk back, walk back, walk back, walk back. It's almost impossible to put your heel down and walk backwards. It's almost impossible. Yeah, it looks weird. You can do it. But what I want you to understand is your relationship with how you ambulate, forward walking, backward walking. It's a big deal to your hips, to your back. Why do you think one of the first things a medical healthcare provider will tell somebody with back problems? To try to get to where you can walk a mile a day. Okay? Well, when you're walking, your hip motion affects your back. Okay, see how I'm doing side to side? And I'm doing the regular toe, heel, but what if I go heel and then put my toe down, heel, put my toe down. Then I go heel, put my toe down, heel, put my toe down. See, just doing that totally scrambles everything. So do it a few times is all I'm encouraging you to do. So now I've done forward and backward walking, right? Now let's add another element, and then we're going to pick up our first carry. We're going to pick up our first carry. I'm going to turn this on so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to go forward, and I'm going to go backward. And I'm going to take my hand and go over and touch my ear right here as I walk forward. And now I'm going to do the other side. Do you see this? And I'm going to walk backward. And when I walk backward, guess what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to do this. Now, we'll do that as a move in a little bit. But see, the minute that I do this with a client, if I'm working with them and I do this, and I have them reach over their head and touch their ear, if they immediately do this, then I know we probably have a shoulder issue, okay? So, because see, if I do this, then I don't have to raise this up as high, is the point. So we're going to work with stuff with shoulders today, but especially our hip as it affects our back. So as I've done that now, I've gone over here and over here. Ask yourself, when I do this, am I tilting my head? Because if you're tilting your head, that's just a little cheater move. Okay, surprise, surprise. And I know exactly the ones here that are cheating. But I want you to realize this, because when you tilt your head, you don't have to get that elbow up. See that? So this move that we're doing, ambulating, this move that we're doing, okay, this is oiling your shoulders. This is oiling your hips. It's oiling your ankles. It's oiling your knees. Just front to backward walking, side to side stepping. Then heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. That is getting your brain going, okay? Now I'm gonna go ahead and start with my first carry. So why do I call this my first carry? Because this is 10 and 10, and it's a jug. It could be a bag that I loaded with cans of food, or you could put anything put books in a bag. Okay, I got lots of teachers in my class, so you could get one of those cloth type bags or vinyl bags and put a bunch of books in it. Okay, so as I'm doing now, I see everybody's coming on now. I'm going to reiterate as I'm doing my carry. This is one of my first carries. I walked front to back, side to side with no weight. Now I've added 2 carries. This is my first carry. This is 10 pounds. This is 10 pounds. Okay. And I'm just going front to back. Front to back walking. If you can do nothing else, do it carefully, and you will get great benefit from that, especially if you're mindful of neutral spine. So I see everybody coming on. I lost power already this morning. There's probably some other people out there that have lost power. You might be on generators. So if the power goes off, many times it will just kick us off. So you just simply rejoin. Okay, so now I've gone front to back several times. Now I'm going to bring those shoulders up and drop them down. Now I'm going to step really wide, and I'm going to say rib cage up, and I'm going to drop my back heel. So when you do this first big step, see, you bring the heel off the ground, drop your heel back, okay? Take a big breath through your nose, hold your ground. Yeah, soften your knees, that will help you. Now bring those shoulders to your ears and drop them down, okay? Then I'm gonna go back. And then I'm gonna go back. Okay, so it's a same leg. You come back to normal step, then you go back. Then you put your heel down, then you bring those shoulders to your ears and drop them down. Now you bend the back knee and you come back up, okay? Now I'm gonna come to neutral stance, and I'm gonna do all that with the other leg. So I'm gonna go forward, and I'm gonna act like I'm gonna bring that back knee down, but I'm gonna put my heel down, okay? So you act like you put your knee down, but then you put your heel, plant it. See, you bend your knee, it will bring the heel up, but I want you to plant the foot then. See that? So I'm going to bring this leg back to neutral. So it's going to come right here, and then I'm going to step back. So I'm going to go all the way back. And for some of us, so there goes the knee. See, I'm bending the knee, that brings the heel up, but then I plant the heel. Okay, that move, very important. Bring those shoulders up, drop them down. And this is just with a simple carry, however you can do it. Maybe you just said, oh, I don't want to have a jug filled with water. I don't want to have a sack filled with anything. I'm just going to pick up these weights. That's fine. However you want to do it. Okay, keep that heel down. Now come up to neutral. Okay, now we're going to cross over. And when you start doing some of these patterned walking steps and you have a load that you're responsible to balance, to carry, you got to think, how is my body positioned? Okay, some of you are just positioned like this. You're down here like this. So I'm saying pull in, squeeze your rear end really tight right now. Drop your shoulders, soften your knees. Okay, once you've done that and your rib cage is up, it makes your carrying trajectory totally different. So I called some of you just now on the position that you actually don't want to do. And you don't realize you are doing it unless you take the steps to actively, and that is definitely the verb, actively pull yourself into neutral posture. Okay, so soften your knees is a good thing. Tighten your rear end super tight. Bring those shoulders up to your ears. And when you put them down, roll the shoulder blades in just a bit. Okay, and you're bringing that rib cage up. And for some of us, this is so hard to do because our natural thing is this. Okay, so I'm just saying, do what you can to help yourself in that endeavor, because then when you take these steps, these very simple steps that we took this morning, which is forward and then backward. Okay, when you do those steps, it's a whole different movement. It's a whole different work when you're doing it in neutral spine. Okay, so here's my carries. This is my entry carry today. I've already done several maneuvers with my feet with 10 pounds and 10 pounds, okay? And the handhold is at the top, kind of like you would hold a kettlebell. All right, so now I'm gonna go side. I'm gonna bring them right here, and I'm gonna hip hinge and put them right in the middle, okay? Now I'm gonna push into my heels, bring them in, and then come up. So what I just went through is a pattern of picking things up that you need to burn in your little brain. I'm gonna put this load down, and when I get to right here, some of you totally lose it because you let your back flex. So I'm saying the rib cage is up. Here's my load. I'm going to push my butt back. I'm going to keep my load right here. I'm going to really keep that back extended. I'm going to tap down and pull it right back in. I'm going to tap down, pull it right back in. And I'm going to really pull those shoulders down and pull them right into my spine. I'm going to roll those shoulder blades right to my spine. Tap. Keep these knees very bent. Pull. Breath. Pull. Big breath. Pull. Breath. Stay down. Stay into your heels. Pull. Breath. Pull. Breath and pull. Then come up. Squeeze your butt right here. Yes. Take a breath. Now you're gonna take a big step. Okay, stay with me. Rib cage up, drop my shoulders, step forward like you're gonna do a weird walking pattern. See how it steps forward, then I'm gonna come back. Okay, so here I am. Here's my weight load, whatever it is that you picked up. When you step forward, you're gonna step wide. See that? That makes you use your ankle, your foot, totally different. Now, right now, this is a very crucial time because some of you are hip hinged, and unless you're thinking about it, you're gonna release your shoulders or you're gonna round your back. I've got my heel down and back, big stretch. I'm gonna take this foot and bring it back, right here. See that? So I'm right here, I'm working in a little area here. Now I'm gonna do the same thing, but I'm gonna go backward. Here's my load, here's my carry. Drop your shoulders, tighten your tummy, go way back. See that? Take a big breath, drop your shoulders. You're gonna rock and roll all over the place. Good, that's what it's doing, what I'm wanting it to do. Bring it back, see how I'm wide? Now I'm gonna go back the other leg, way back there. Take a big deep breath, bring it back, okay? Now come into a normal stance. Okay, now we're not going wide. Now we're pretty narrow. I'm gonna step back as far as I dare, okay? Do not turn your foot out. My heel is down, my shoulders are down, and I'm going to hip hinge. If I hip hinge, I have to knee bend, and my knee goes out in front of my toes a little. That's okay. You got to keep that heel down. And see what I'm doing with these weights or these jugs? What am I doing with my shoulders? Some of you might say, well, you're doing nothing. Oh my goodness. I'm keeping my shoulders down. I'm keeping my heel down. I'm keeping my back extended, my chin tucked in, taking breaths. And my shoulders right now are working so hard to keep these jugs from going forward. See that? Now I'm gonna open and bring them forward, but right now be very careful that you do not round your back and you're increasingly bending at the hip. And I'm gonna try to put those down, but then I don't, and I come back. See that? Take a big deep breath. Okay, you're really pushing into a whole foot, meaning all four corners of your foot, all four corners, okay? I'm gonna hip hinge, keep my shoulders down, but now I'm gonna act like I'm gonna put my load down, right at my foot. So be very careful, bend, 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 now push back. So you only go so far, then you come back up. Take a big deep breath, drop your shoulders, here we go. We're gonna hip hinge, we're gonna bend that front knee, keep the back heel down. I'm gonna act like I'm gonna put my load down right at my foot, but then I don't, and I push myself back. So this is all hip, quad. Yes, take a breath, take a breath, take a breath. Now push it back. It's that front leg. Okay, just two more. Here we go, bend the knee, bend at the hip, do not round your back. You're acting like you're gonna put that down, but then you come back, okay? And you'll feel it. Last one, this right here, right here, right here, push back. Come back. You should have got burning all through here because that's what was working. Okay, turn your toe out. If you had that burning, just turn your toe out, it'll help release it. Okie dokie. Now, I still have my carries. And it's really not, you know, a problem to hold a kettlebell or a jug or even your weights, if you're holding them like this, because I'm not gripping them hard, okay? So now what am I gonna do? I am going to go back with the other leg. See that? I just stepped back with the other leg, the one that was in front. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna drop my shoulders. Number one, breathe through your nose, yes. Then I'm going to hip hinge, shoulders drop down. And here's the really important thing on this move. I stepped back, okay? I'm going to keep my heel down, but I'm going to bend my knee in the back down, and I have to bend it in the front, okay? I'm gonna keep my heel planted, so that means I have to bend a little more. I'm gonna act like I'm gonna put these down, and here's the deal. When you get to a certain point in this move right here, you're going to round your back. So I'm saying, instead of rounding your back, when you go into here and you're saying, I can't go any further with my load unless I round my back, then you've got to come back. See that? Okay, what I'm doing right now with you is so incredibly important in the way your back and your hips work, but also your shoulders, because you get to this point, and unless you do something, see, you're not going to be able to go any further unless you round your back. I don't want you rounding your back. I want you to push through that front leg and come up, okay? Take a breath. We're going to do 3 more, just like that. Are you ready? Drop your shoulders, take a breath. See, I'm bending. I'm keeping my heel down and back. You can move it up a little, but don't round your back. Go down as far as you can. Now push back. So this is my hip replace side. So this will push you, okay? But it won't hurt you if you don't round your back. That's the key here. Drop your shoulders. Here we go. Here we go. How many did I say? 3? See, your knee is going way out over the toe, and it's okay as long as you don't round your back. Keep your shoulders back. Keep your shoulders down and back. Okay, ready? Push and come back up. Okay? This is how somebody with replaced hips and replaced knees get very functionally strong if they will learn that move. And you go deep enough that you don't round your back, and then you push yourself back up. That's the move. So I wanted to take time to show you that with these. These are the lighter weights. We're going to do some carries with heavier weights. But here's my 10. See? I can bring them up and bring my elbows back. So my tummy's tight. I'm going to bring it up and pull those elbows back. Then I'm going to act like I'm going to put them down, but I'm not. I'm going to pull them up, and right now, right at this position, your shoulders are down, and you squeeze your butt. Really contract it. Then release. Act like you're going to put them down, but you don't. And then your elbows go way back there. Okay, so this is a K move right here. This is the move that I would have Kay do probably, I don't know, 3 times in the morning hours, and I would have her do it 3 times in the afternoon hours, okay? I would have you pick up some books or some bags or weights. You act like you're gonna put them down. You don't. You pull them up, you squeeze your rear end, really contract it. As you're putting your elbows, pointing them backward, keep your chin tucked, take a breath, and really pull those shoulder blades together. But here's the key. Your shoulders have to be down. And you're holding on to this. You're just squeezing those shoulder blades together. Maybe you do it 3 times. Oh my goodness. Do you realize that if you did that even 3 times, spent 1 minute, maybe 2, doing this with a gentle weight? This is 10 pounds and 10 pounds. Oh my goodness. It helps to realign. You're doing your own traction, basically. So I'm gonna take a breath. I'm gonna put my hands back now, elbows back, tops of the hands back, elbows back, tops of the hands back. Drop your shoulders, tuck your chin. So when you tuck your chin, you gotta keep your teeth together, okay? So I'm right here, elbows are back, then the back of the hands. I know it, so put those 2 moves together. So now bring your shoulders to your ears, drop your shoulders. So basically what I took you through to begin with is one of the most important things to always be able to do. I did the reverse lunge with weights, and then I tried to get you to put your weight down in the reverse lunge and then push back. That's a very important move to keep doing, because especially if you have knee issues, joint issues in the hips, and or you're having back issues, because that move, that backward lungey thing, doing a dip and then pushing back, is what's going to make these more stable. And you have to do it under load. So I hope this makes sense of why I'm going through all this stuff. I'm just doing stuff that I need to do. And so if I can get you to do it and do it properly, yay! We also did a little bit of the deadlift, but now we're going to do the plank. We're going to do the plank in 2 different modalities this morning. Some of you are only going to do it in 1 because it's very difficult for you to get into the floor. I understand it. So what I'm saying is, get to where you can do it from a chair. If you can't do it from a chair, do it at a wall. And then we're going to go quickly to the floor, and then we're going to come back. So stay with me. So here's my chair, and we're going to do a plank. I'm going to put my hands right here. I'm going to keep my shoulders over my wrists. I'm going to step back, and I'm going to keep myself in a neutral spine. My shoulders are down, my chin is tucked, and I'm just hanging out here for a bit. So as I'm in this position with my tummy super working, I'm going to step wide, and then I'm going to come back in. Now, as a weight training day, if you had a backpack on you or a weight vest, those would be excellent to get a little more load. But some of us are doing all we can to just keep our shoulders tucked, to keep our tummy tucked, and stay in this position with our shoulder right over our wrist. See that? Now I'm going to come up. Anytime you need to take a break, you come forward with your little toes. See your little toes? Now go back just a little bit. Okay, now we're going to take it. We're going to break it down. Shoulders are over wrist. Yes. Shoulders are down. Yes. I'm stepping back 2 inches at a time. 2 inches. 2 inches. I'm keeping my tummy super tight. Keep going 2 inches, so about 3 or 4 2-inch moves, and you're all the way into a plank. See that? Take a big deep breath. Through your nose, drop your shoulders. You ready? Keep your tummy super tight. Step wide and hold the plank move. Okay? Right there. Squeeze your rear. Squeeze your rear. Now come 2 inches in, 2 inches in, 2 inches in. My heels are off the floor. Drop your heels. Heels are off the floor. Drop your heels. Heels are off the floor. Drop your heels. Take a big breath. 2 inches back. 2 inches back. Keep your shoulders over your wrist. Back. Back. Now squeeze your butt. Super tight. Elbows are soft. Shoulders are down. Breath. 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 Come in 2 inches. Come in 2 inches. Come in 2 inches. Come in 2 inches. Okay? Ease up off those hands. Come right around and we're going to sit down. Sit down. Turn. Drop your knee. Right there. Drop your knee. Right there. You got it? Take both hands behind the chair. Look over that chair. Look over that shoulder. Keep that knee down. Don't flare it. Keep it down. Take a big breath. Now pull yourself. Pull yourself, pull yourself. Come forward. Go to the other side. Drop that knee down. You're really working those toes. Really pull. Say rib cage up. Keep that knee down. Open back a little bit from the hip. Yeah. Take a big breath. Take a big breath. Take a big breath. Pull. Come back. Now, I'm sitting right here. And the next one I'm going to do is going to be a plank from the floor. Okay? This is our loading day. And I'm trying to, I'm veering off in different pathways from 5 basic moves that you need to always be able to do. So whether you can only do a plank from your chair or you want to get in the floor and do it, you get to choose, okay? So at this point, I'm going to get in the floor. But if you're going to do it just from the chair or from the wall, good. Just do that. So I'm going to come right here from my chair. I'm going to walk myself out. I'm going to be up as far as I can with the hips way up. I'm going to only maintain that for just a little bit. And then I'm going to just lower myself right down into this plank. Now, if that is not happening for you and you need to start from your knees, that's okay. Do it. I'm in a high plank position. I'm going to go to a low plank position. If that's not working for you, you're going to do the high plank from your chair. And or you can put your pad on your chair and do it from your elbows. So I started this from the chair. I got down into a high plank. So if you can, go into a high plank. Keep your shoulders down, tucked into your rear end. If you need to go for your knees, that's fine. Now from this position, I'm going to keep really tight. I'm going to go down into my elbow, down to my elbow, and hang out here for just a little bit. I'm going to take a big breath. I'm going to punch through my belly button. By that, what I mean is, act like I'm poking your belly button. Keep that belly button in, keep your shoulders down. Breath. 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 Then I'm going to put my knee down. I'm going to push my hands back. I'm going to be on all fours right here. I'm going to go way up into a mad cat. I'm going to come down to the cat camel position. So I'm in a camel position now. When you're really doing a hyperextension now, it should feel good. Take a big deep breath. Tuck your toes under you so that you're really flexing them if you can. And now I'm going to go into a high plank. If you don't want to go into a high plank at this point, you simply put your elbows down. You can do this on the chair or you can do it in the floor. And you just go into it this position. See that? And that's fine. Keep your tummy tight. Keep your shoulders down. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Take a breath, take a breath, take a breath. Bring those knees down and really bring those hands over the head. Drop your chest to your knees. And you're really stretching through the back. Then you come forward. You either use your chair to get up or you put your toes under. Tight tummy. Step into it. Equalize. And you come up. Now we're ready to start doing some loading. Okay? Now I did the whole first part of the class with my carries. Okay? These are 2-gallon jugs that I filled with water. And now I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do some work that's working pretty much primarily our legs, but I'm gonna turn it into a leg and an arm and a core work. How am I gonna do that? I'm gonna do a sit to stand, and I'm gonna have weights, okay? If that is not gonna work for you, if your hip is wonky, you have to promise me that you're gonna use your pad, okay? I wanna go down a little lower, so I'm not gonna use it. But if you need to, if you have wonky hips right now, if you're heading for a hip replacement, yes, you need to use a hip on your pad on your chair. A. B, you probably don't want to load too heavy. Okay, you might need your hands to get yourself up. That's okay, because you're heading for a hip replacement. I am gonna go pretty heavy. So what am I picking up? For my sit to stands today, I'm gonna be sitting and standing with 30 pounds. I have 15 and 15, okay? You get to choose whatever you're gonna work with. Now, let me show you some good ways to do this. You step wide, okay, as wide as your chair. You put your weights right here on the front of your legs. Take a breath. As you're coming down, those hands are just resting right there, and then you come right into that sit down, okay? That is a much, mechanically, a much, I won't say better. It's the way to use assistive help without compromising form, if that makes sense to you. See, I'm gonna keep my hands here. I'm going to push my butt back, drop my chin, and I'm not going to let my knees come in the middle. I'm going to keep them right in line with my ankle. I'm going to take a breath. I'm going to exhale as I lift and as I come up. And see, I keep my hands right here with these heavy weights. It's not as heavy as I could go, but I want you to understand how to do this without hurting yourself. So you come right here and you come down. Then you get ready and you come up, okay? Now, if you want to make it a little more challenging, and some of you might not want to, I'm going to do 6 more sit to stands, and I'm going to use my weights a little more challenging. But if this works for you, do it that way, okay? Take a breath. Boom. Breath. Breath. Stay with me. Breath. Here we go. Get ready. Exhale. Breath. Okay, one more. Yay. Now bring them right here. Just open your hands. Just open your hands, open your hands, open your hands. I gotta see what time we're at here. Sorry. Okay, we're doing good. Okay. Open your hands. So what did I just do? I went from medium, light carries, I'll say medium carries, 10 and 10. Now I'm at 30, okay? And instead of just walking around, I went and put a full body load on the floor and from my chair with planks. I did high planks into low planks. I'm using this terminology because I just want you to be aware of that's the terminology, okay? Now I'm gonna grab these weights again. Okie dokie. Take a big deep breath. Yes. I'm gonna get right back into position. And I've already shown you 2 techniques now, right? For sitting and standing with a load. You put your hands here in the front and then do all the proper mechanics. Sit to stands. So I'm sitting and I'm gonna stand, okay? If I wanna make it more challenging now, I'll go to the side and I'll work with my arms. I won't do that at all if I don't have the right form. So take a breath. As you go to sit down, watch your knees. Do not let them come in. Do not let them flare. Either or you don't want. Here we go. Drop my shoulders, rib cage up. Inhale, exhale, boom. Yeah, this is our second set. Are you ready? Here we go. Take a breath. 4 more. Here we go. Yes. Okay, stay with me, 2 more. Watch your knees. Don't let them go in or out. Okay, so how many want to overachieve? Just do 1 more. I know, this is when you want to slap me. Okay, shoulders up, drop. Take a breath. You should be demanding quite a bit of oxygen right now. Breath and exhale. So, for those of you who have eternal shoulder issues, I'm telling you, get to where you can do decent shoulder shrugs, all the way up, all the way down, and do it with increasing weight. Generally, you can do this if your knees are soft. Okay, just make your knees soft, open your toes, breath, all the way up. Okay, exhale down. Take a breath. And exhale down. Okay, when you're doing this, you can't let your shoulders roll forward. You cannot. Okay, you got to drop those shoulders down and squeeze the shoulder blades. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, pretend that I'm heading at you with 2 big shots. You gotta tighten your butt. Then I come up and I drop down. Okay, now if I wanted to add an element to this little move right here, which is just a shoulder shrug and a dropping. But I'm doing it with 15 pounds in each hand. You can do it with whatever gives you a little bit of a load. Being very mindful not to roll those shoulders forward, okay? We're trying to get the muscles stronger so we can stand up and move more confidently. Okay, so after I've done that, I'm gonna bring these weights right here. I'm gonna bring the heavy weight right here. I'm gonna bring the heavy weight right here. I'm not jerking, just coming up. I still have it in a hammer hold, and I'm gonna come right to the top of my head. See this? Look at this. It's touching my ear. If you have your weight up here, you're not touching your ear. Okay, that's important. Drop your shoulders. This is heavy. My elbows are forward. Touch the top of your ear. Don't tilt your head. Tight tummy, breath, touch. Don't tilt. Unlock your knees. Oh! Bring it back. Drop your shoulders, breath. Right here. Don't tilt. Don't tilt that head. Take a breath. Right here. See, if you have shoulder issues, if you know you have forward rounded shoulders, forward head, don't be going way up with a heavy weight. Just touch your ear. See? Just touch your ear. Breath. You do a couple of sets, just this, with, you know, a decent weight for you. You're going to get stronger without hurting your shoulder. Take a breath. Drop your shoulders. Tighten your tummy. Squeeze your butt. Breath. 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 Bring them down. Are you ready? Yes, we're going to do a third set. I'm going to step over into the arena, my chair arena. I have a little tiny bit wider than shoulder width because as I go down, I want to not let my knees wobble in or out. Okay, drop the shoulders, take a breath. Here we go. Do the easy one right here or a little more challenging. Here we go. Right there. Watch your knees. Breath. Stay with me, stay with me. Okay. Okay. If you can do one more, if you can do two more, you can do one more now. That takes us to about 9. Okay? Yeah. So my goal would be get to where you can do 2 to 3 sets of 6 to 10. So if you do it and you feel like that is so hard, I'm never going to do that again, then you probably picked too hard. Okay? Open your hands, close your hands, open your hands, close your hands. Yes. Yes. So what did we just do? We did a sit to stand. Only I did it in a loading mechanism. If you can pick anything up beyond your body weight, that's what you want to do. Because your muscles will only come back if you demand they come back. Okay? And I don't care if it's 6 ounces. That's more than your body weight. Then you go from there. And then you add a pound. And you just keep going from there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and use my full rack, which is 18 and 18 for the next couple moves. Okay? So what am I going to do? I'm going to do some carries with a higher weight load. So some of the things that we did at the very beginning of class. Okay, so I'm letting you recover right now. Take a big breath. Just move those hands. And if you think that you want to pick up a pretty heavy weight, don't even worry about curling. See, just come here and just keep a good neutral spine, which means your shoulders down and your shoulders are gently rolled in a little bit to counteract rounded shoulder. Okay, so before we do that, we're going to come right here. We're going to go under with our hand, and then we're going to go open. When your hand opens back over your back, you got to put your shoulder down. Then I come back, and I open again. Keep your shoulder down. Keep your chin tucked. You can look, and then you can look. Okay? And you have a little motion going on right here. Okay? If you can't bend over to do that much, just come right here. That's fine. But if you can come down, then go back over your back. Right here, shoulder goes down. Take a breath. Here we go. Shoulder goes down. Then you come back. Then you come up. Okay? So without any weight at all, I want you to just come to your little chair. And if you've been using a pad, you can keep using it. Or just for this one without weights, take your pad out. Because why? Well, I'm trying to help you ambulate and move in the real world. And typically you're not going to have pads unless you carry one with you, okay, for a chair. So number one, I'm going to go as wide as the chair, legs. Then I'm going to hip hinge. And I'm going to come down and I'm going to say, how's things working? Where's my sticking point? In a simple sit to stand. Where's my sticking points? Okay? You would be amazed how many times I've encountered someone who's not been trained at all in movement, and they think that they have to get assistive devices because they can't do this move. They can't use a regular toilet. They can't use a regular chair. And many times it's because they haven't learned to move. So if you're struggling to move, do the V. Do the little V. Use your hands, use your upper body, and come into a hip hinge and down. Watch your knees. If they're wobbling, we got to keep working on strengthening our quads, our gluteus, and our hamstrings. Okay? But do this a number of times. As a matter of fact, this could be one of the moves that you do for a minute. Don't even count them. Just look at your clock. Don't jerk. Don't bounce. Don't use momentum. Just sit and stand. If you just did that when you were in the middle of watching TV, working on the computer, listening to a lecture, whatever, you would be so far ahead of the curve. So far ahead of the curve. Okay, now I'm going to go to the whole rack. See this? Now I've got 18 and 18. Okie? Yeah, so I'm going to either hold it here. I'm going to do some of our basic moves into our next big move, which is our froggy deadlift. Okay, so I'm just going to do some basic ambulation. I can either hold on, not grip. When I say don't grip, if you see my hands here, I'm not gripping the barrel of my weight into my palm. Now I can do it to exercise and to make my grip stronger. See how I'm rolling it into my palms and then back out of it? See that? This is great work. But then I just let them hang off my fingers and I ambulate forward and backward. And I can either let them hang off my fingers. I step side to side. So these are some of the very same basic moves that I did to begin the class with no weight. See how I go side to side now? Or I can take that weight, put it right on my shoulder. See that? And I can ambulate that way. Hold on to the weights. And I just hang on. When you're doing this, think of all those women in third world countries that are balancing lots of poundage on their heads. Okay? So this is a maneuver. I'm telling you, if you have a pretty decent weight and you just put them right up here and you hang on to it as you're walking around and you do that, I don't know, 3 to 5 times, 3 to 6 times during the day. take one stinking little minute and just hoist these weights onto your shoulders and walk around. Can you do that for 1 minute through the day? And you do it from 3 to 6 times through your day. Okay? That's a huge benefit right there. Okay, now I'm going to take them right here. Now I'm going to go into that little froggy deadlift. So I'm going to step wide. All right? It's the same thing as a fold. It's just we're going wide. That deals with your hip very differently than here. I can do this. See? No problem. But I want you to go wide. I want you, if you're dealing with a hip issue, you've got to find the position that is going to work with you. What we're trying to do is load here and all the way from here, all the way down. Okay? So I'm going to push the butt back, grab them. I'm going to go wide. I'm going to bring them to the middle. Okay? I'm going to go into my lift. So I'm going to pull right to there. Take a breath. As I go down, I'm not going to let my knees buckle. Drop your shoulders. Bring it right here. Bring it right down and right up. Bring it right down and right up. Got to keep your back extended. You may not be able to go all the way to the floor. Go to here and come up. See? Go to here. Come up. You can put your forearm right on your thigh and come up. Come right here. Watch your knees. Don't let them buckle. Breath. Take a breath. Right here. Or go all the way down. Whichever you can handle. Take a breath. Right here. Squeeze your butt. Go down. Squeeze. Right there. Squeeze. Now I'm going to come right here. I'm going to go right here in front of my chair. Use the hands in the front or the hands to the side. You're going to go down and you're going to sit. See that? Then I'm going to go down, grab them, and push into my heels and come up. Squeeze my butt. Woo! All the way down. Breath. Push your butt back. Take a breath right now. And exhale as you push into your heels. Here we go. Breath. And exhale as you come up. Squeeze your butt right now. Ah, just two more. Stay with me. Here we go. Breath. Exhale. Squeeze your butt. Back down. Here we go. Exhale. Squeeze. Oh, right there. Big deep breath. Then I'm going to come over here. Put my weights right into my holster. Shake out my hands. Take a big deep breath. Put my hands on my chair. One leg in, one leg out. Pull that toe back. Okay? And plant it. Pull it back and plant it. Pull it back and plant it. Okay? Switch. Step way back. Pull that front leg up. The front toe. Take a big breath. Great recovery. Shoulders are down. Chin is tucked. Turn my head. Turn my head. I want to put my chin on my shoulder. My chin on my shoulder. I got my heel down and back. Then I match it. Bring your heels down. Drop your hips. Drop your shoulders. Take a big breath. Take a big breath. Then pull out of that. Step in. Boom. Right there. Going to that W, T, and a Y. Okay? So when you're doing the Y, when you're doing the Y, if you can bring your hand where your bicep is touching your ear, then you've made it. Okay? Without tilting, without doing this. Then you come into your T, forward and back. Then you come into your W. When you're in your W, keep your chin tucked. Big breath, soften up your knees, don't lock them. Try to touch your shoulders with your palm. See? So if you're out here and you can't bring, you gotta keep those shoulders down and keep doing the rack. If anybody really wants to know about the rack, I'll have you call Kay. Pretend I'm on a wall or a door and I'm up here in a rack. I have to have the back of my hands, this part of my elbow, my butt, and the back of my head touching the wall. That's the rack. Then you reach your hands down and you walk away and you keep that line up all day long. Call me if you do it. Call me. I want to know.